Chapter 1. Introduction. Say ye not, a confederacy, to all them to whom this people shall say, a confederacy. Neither fear ye their fear, nor be afraid. Sanctify the Lord of hosts himself, and let him be your fear, and let him be your dread, and he shall be for a sanctuary. Isaiah chapter 8, verses 12 through 14a. There is as much diversity in people's inward moods and dispositions as in their outward features. Some are as frightened as rabbits and jump at every sound, even a dog's bark. Some are as bold as lions and face danger without trembling. Some fear more than they ought, some before they ought, and others when they ought not at all. The carnal person fears man, not God. The strong Christian fears God, not man. The weak Christian fears man too much, and God too little. There is a fear which is the effect of sin. It springs from guilt and hurries the soul into more guilt. There is a fear which is the effect of grace. It springs from our love for God and his interest, and drives the soul to him in the way of duty. The less fear a person has, the more happiness he has. Unless, of course, it is that fear which is his happiness and excellence. It cannot be said of any person, as it is said of Leviathan, he is made without fear. Job chapter 41, verse 33b. The strongest people are not without some fears. When the church is in the storms of persecution, and almost covered with the waves, her most courageous passengers may suffer as much from this boisterous passion within as from the storm without. This is the result of not thoroughly believing or seasonably remembering that the Lord, Admiral of all the oceans and commander of all the winds, is on board the ship to steer and preserve it from the storm. A weighty example of this very thing is found in the context, where we discover that the best people tremble in expectation of the worst events, both on the church in general and themselves in particular. And it was told the house of David, saying, Syria is confederate with Ephraim. And his heart was moved, and the heart of his people, as the trees of the wood are moved with the wind. Isaiah chapter 7, verse 2. If their danger is measured by sense alone, then their fear does not exceed its cause. As a matter of fact, their danger seems to exceed their fear, for a foreign and cruel enemy, Assyria, is about to break upon them like a breach of the sea and overflow the land of Emmanuel. Now therefore, behold, the Lord bringeth up upon them the waters of the river, strong and many, even the king of Assyria and all his glory. And he shall come up over all his channels and go over all his banks. Isaiah chapter 8, verse 7. This verse describes the enemy as waters that quickly drown the country upon which they break. The next verse tells us how far this enemy will prevail and how close the country will come to total ruin. And he shall pass through Judah. He shall overflow and go over. He shall reach even to the neck, and the stretching out of his wings shall fill the breadth of thy land, O Emmanuel. Isaiah chapter 8, verse 8. All the land except the capital city will be under water. Having described the invading enemy's power and success, God derides their plots and schemes. Isaiah chapter 8, verses 9 and 10. Although he permits them to afflict his people for a time, for his own just and holy ends, he assures them that the issue of all their counsels and cruelties will recoil upon them and result in their own ruin and confusion. He then commands Isaiah to encourage the feeble and trembling hearts of those who fear him in the midst of those terrifying times. For the Lord spake thus to me with a strong hand, and instructed me that I should not walk in the way of this people, saying, Say ye not a confederacy. Isaiah chapter 8, verses 11 through 12a.